Hey everybody, welcome to the Chris Parsons Project for Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. I'm your host, Chris Parsons, and today's guest is a very good longtime friend of mine by the name of Shawn Hockett. Shawn works for the Mpls Park and Rec Board, and one of the themes of my campaign running for Ward 10, Minneapolis City Council, is more investment in our youth and youth engagement. And Shawn started working for Park and Rec Board at the age of 14 back in 1988, and he's had a very long career and he's moved up through the organization. And I thought it was very important to have Shawn here to tell the story. So I hope you really enjoy this episode, and I hope it's eye-opening and informative. Hey everybody, welcome to the Chris Parsons Project. I'm here with Shawn Hockett. Shawn, welcome to the program.
How you doing, Chris? Nice to be here, man.
Hey.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
I'm
you
really
bet.
excited to participate with this and have a conversation with you.
All right, cool. How's the family?
So the family's really good. So like you mentioned, I have a wife of about 22 years. We were married in 1999. I have two adult sons, Anthony, who's 23, Aaron, who's 21. I also have two fur babies. I have a 13-year-old dog named Bear. He's a Lhasa Apso. And then recently we had a new puppy, and she's 3 months old, and her name is Winnie. So we're really excited with the new addition to our family. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
How are the kids? You have two sons, Aaron and
Yeah.
Anthony?
So like I said, my son Anthony, he currently is attending the Bethel University. He's on the football team, so this is his senior year for football. So he's really excited. Unfortunately, because of the COVID situation, they had to push back their season this spring. So he's been still hard at work, still practicing, still preparing for the season. And then also he'll finish up his college, and then he'll have a degree in biology. And then he's going to decide kind of his next steps in his life. He hasn't quite made those decisions quite yet, but he's still pretty young, and he has a bright future. And then my son Aaron, like I said, he's 21 years old, and Aaron currently has an interesting career path. Aaron would like to be a professional video game player. So Aaron spends a lot of time during his day and night playing video games, and he is quite good, but not quite to the level of professional yet. But he's definitely working hard, and we're going to support him, and hopefully he can achieve his goals. And if not, we'll figure out plan B. So yeah, I'm excited for both my boys, and they're kind of set up for good lives, hopefully. And I think me and my wife did a good job with our children, and they're good boys.
Yeah, well, I can second that. Well done, well done. You work for Minneapolis Park and Rec.
Yes, I do.
What is your title, and what do you do there?
So currently I'm the operations manager for the North Service area. So in a nutshell, I am the operations manager for all the parks in North Minneapolis. So my staff takes care of all of the daily maintenance, kind of the janitorial services at rec centers, athletic services in terms of field setup. We also do obviously ice rinks and pretty much everything in the park. So when you go to the parks in North Minneapolis and you see a nice clean park, that's my staff that does great work for the citizens of Minneapolis, and specifically the residents of North Minneapolis.
So how long have you been with the Minneapolis Park Board?
So yeah, actually I have a interesting career path with the Minneapolis Park Board. So the Park Board is literally the only job I've had for my entire life. So in 1988, I was 14 years old. And then there was a program that's still actually active today called Team Teenworks. And it was a program for kind of like disadvantaged youth, children on public assistance, kind of children were kind of in that crossroads of, trying to be a, kind of a productive member of society, or maybe going down the wrong path. So I was presented with the opportunity to apply for that position. I applied to be a youth worker with the Teen Teamworks program. I did that program for 5 seasons, so from 14 through the year of my 18th birthday. I was on a Teen Teamworks youth crew, and I developed a lot of skills to become a maintenance worker with the Mpls Park Board. And then I was actually approached by some management at the park board and asked me to apply for a seasonal job position. So I did that for about 4 or 5 years. And then I was given the opportunity to become a full-time, what's called a park keeper with the Mpls Park Board. Did that for about 4 or 5 years. And then I was very fortunate to get a promotion to go back to the Teen Teamworks program. And I was actually part of the leadership of the Teen Teamworks program. And I was a crew leader. So I led the youth and the youth crews and helped them develop their work skills and some of those life skills. And then I was promoted to a full-time crew leader with the Mpls Park Board in 2004. And then in 2017, I was promoted to my current position as the operations manager for the Mpls Park Board.
That's quite a career path, man.
It
That's,
is.
you know, and I think that's awesome that you're able to do that within a single organization. You know, I especially from such a young age, you know, that they groomed you, and you had to obviously show up year after year, but but there's a place for you to, and they groomed you and you were brought into the organization. And do you so you say that the program is still going on?
Yep.
So, and how does it feel to be, working with, youth that you can you see yourself in them, and then and then they're coming into the program, and then now you're getting to work with them and supervise them and mentor them. How does that make you feel?
Man, it's so rewarding because if you see a youth worker or a young person that has a passion for this kind of work, which I did, I mean, I really super gravitated to this work, and I really enjoyed being outside and working in the parks. I mean, how great of a job is that to be outside all day in the park environment? So when I see youth that I see that kind of remind me of myself, I definitely kind of gravitate towards those kind of kids, and I mentor them, and I make sure that I give them advice and to share kind of my life experience and tell my story and make them understand that your life is long, and don't look at things in the short term. Look at things in a much broader, longer view. And that's something I was actually pretty smart about that when I was a kid, that I realized that I had to have a long view of life. And so I think it's important for those kids to have that. So I make sure that I remind them that, hey, you know what, I know you think about today, but think about 5 years from now or 10 years from now, and so on and so forth. So I really try to encourage kids to have that kind of long view, and I'm really active in that program. And I'm going to have a bigger role in the program coming up this summer. The former program administrator, she's actually retiring, so they're transitioning to a new administrator. So they're going to kind of pull me in to be a consultant and kind of help guide this new administrator and how to make the program successful. So I'm excited about that.
How has the program changed over the years? So, from when you started to now, do you think that there's been, is it about the same? Has there been more investment, less investment, more of a priority, less of a priority?
You know what? So when the program was first initially, designed in the early 80s or mid 80s, excuse me, it had a lot of support from the state level, the county level, the city level. A lot of resources were put into the program. We had huge crews of children, 15, 20 crews with 10 to 15 kids per crew scattered throughout the city. And unfortunately, over the course of time, it's become less and less of a program due to budgets and other priorities in the city, which I think is kind of unfortunate, because I think it's a wise investment in youth to get them to develop some of those kind of life skills and job skills. And so obviously you have less kids or less opportunities for more and more kids, and that's something I think that has to change, because I've had a chance to actually testify before the state of Minnesota at the state capitol to try to secure funds for the program. And one of my messages that I brought forward was that I think it's a much wiser use of our resources to invest in youth programs instead of placing youth in jails or in juvenile detention centers. And there's something really funny, Chris, that I made an observation or a point, and this was about 10 years ago, and I said, for $60,000 it costs you to incarcerate one child for 1 year, you could employ probably 60 kids for an entire summer. So think about the investment and the resource or the investment with our tax dollars. I think it's a better use of my tax dollars to have kids working than putting them in jail. So
That's an excellent point.
From my point of view, we need to invest more in children and invest in these programs so that they have a good starting point in their life and have some skills that they can apply in their life moving forward. So that's kind of my thought.
Yeah, and that's kind of all like, a lot of the rhetoric put into action. People always talk about, oh, we need to invest, we need to do this, we need to do this. But then at the end of the day, they're not investing in that. And that investment has so many downstream effects that are positive, keeping, the youth out of trouble in the short term, but also providing a path, surrounding them with structure and mentors, and putting them on a path towards, a long, productive life. And then in turn, one day having kids of their own and, putting them on an even further path.
Absolutely, Chris. I'll be very blunt too, Chris. If had it not been for that kind of opportunity for myself, I'm not sure what path I would have took. I mean, I'm hoping I would have been smart enough to take the correct path in life, but there was a lot of incentive and there's a lot of things completely in the other direction too. And I'm not sure if I'd have made the right choice. And thank God that I didn't make that choice, because I could have been the guy trying to rob you. You know what I mean? Been out there trying to steal from you and been in prison and been a burden on society instead of being an asset to society. You know what I mean?
That's all we have for today's edition of the Chris Parsons Project. I hope that you found that episode informative and possibly entertaining. And I hope to see you back here for our next episode. That music means we're out of time. And be well, everybody.